Hi, and good morning. My name is Michael Graff. Hi. Good morning. My name is Michael Graff. I'm with the Northern Nevada International Center in Reno, Nevada. I want to welcome you all for joining us this morning for our discussion. I know it's 8 p.m. in Minsk, Belarus. It's 9 a.m. here in Reno, Nevada. And we are being joined by people from all around the world at various time zones. So thank you all for joining us today. I would like to start off by introducing our speaker this morning. We are honored to have him as not only alumni of the Northern Nevada International Center and having visited Reno, but also for his outrageous and outstanding work that he's doing in Belarus. I would like to introduce you to Mr. Andrei Klikunou. Andrei is a journalist in Belarus and is also a council member of the Belarusian Association of Journalists, and he's a co-founder of the Journalists for Tolerance Human Rights Initiative. As I mentioned, he's an exchange alumni to Northern Nevada. He participated in the Community Connections program with several other Belarusian officials and stayed and visited with us here in Northern Nevada for 3 weeks in 2018. He is also a graduate of the University of North London with a master's in public administration, magna cum laude in municipal law, and also has a Bachelor of Arts in linguistics from Minsk State Linguistic University. We were also supposed to be joined this morning by Andrei's friend and colleague, Mr. Anton Berisenko, but he is unfortunately unable to join us today. So Andrei will be handling the majority of the discussion. With that being said, I want to, Andrei, I'll allow you to say hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us. Okay, I hope everyone can hear us okay. We're going to start off with a video. Kevin, if you could go ahead and let me share my screen, please. I will pull up a video that Andrei has asked us to show today that will give a little bit of background as far as the situation in Belarus. Okay. Andrei, it looks like that video is not working.
Oh.
So instead, maybe we can fix that technical area as you're speaking, but I can give just a brief background from quoting the BBC on this, on kind of a situation in Belarus, and then you can go ahead and correct me if that's accurate or not, and we'll get into our discussion. Okay. For background, Belarus is gripped by many mass protests right now. It was triggered by an election widely believed to have been rigged in favor of the longtime leader, Alexander Lukashenko. The scale of the protests is unprecedented for Belarus. More than 100,000 have packed into central Minsk, the capital, for 4 consecutive Sundays since the disputed 9th of August election. More than 600 people were detained during the 6th of September protest in Minsk and in other towns and cities throughout Belarus. Rallies from Mr. Lukashenko have also been much smaller. After violent clashes with the opposition demonstrations, numerous allegations of police brutality, processions of women in white with roses, and walkouts at major state enterprises, we will discuss with Andrei this morning how we can look at this and how it all came about. So Andrei, if I could turn it over to you, welcome again, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to reconnect and hear what's going on in Belarus.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you for this opportunity. It's my great pleasure to see you again in 2 years, less than 2 years. But so I recollect like so often that exchange in September 2018, dedicated to like opportunities for disabled groups, disabled, vulnerable groups, and people with disabilities. And then I could not imagine actually that such grave development of situation would take place in my home country, because everything was quite stable at that moment of time, as we say, just stable situation, no development, but still no very huge drama and sometimes tragedy. And as you may know, that in Belarus we have dictatorship after a constitutional coup d'etat that was committed by our ruler in power, Alexander Lukashenko, in 1996. And at that moment of time, the democratic constitution that we had, that we used to have, so it was substituted by another one, actually, like it was named like amendments to that constitution, but actually it was another document, completely another document. And like as a result of this constitutional coup d'etat, all reigns of power appeared in one hands. So there appeared one guy, one person in the state who is above the law, above the judiciary, all the branches, and there is only one person who is above all those three branches and decides on them and is not responsible to anyone in the country. So, and yeah, so there have been like every now and then some like huge grave situations with kidnapping of political opponents, of independent journalists in the past, of crackdowns on peaceful protesters like in 2010, December 2010. So, but nothing of this kind happened before, like we have faced and we are still facing now, yes, in Belarus. Because for the first time since 1996, there appeared brave people in polling stations, at local election committees, who decided to count the votes, and actually, since 1996, nobody counted votes. Why? Because the head of the Central Election Committee is appointed by Lukashenko. And actually now it's the same person who was appointed by Lukashenko illegally in 1996 to confirm his, the results of his fake referendum, constitutional referendum. She's still in place. So, and this time, some people decided that no, that it is, despite having this position, being in the parts of this system, that we will count the votes. And at those polling stations where the people counted the votes, so like our ruler didn't have much chances. So at least there should have been the second round of election. At some places, it was just complete fiasco for him. And unfortunately, as soon as like all this situation happened and a lot of people just realized that actually so something is like moving forward, and so people went out to streets, so they wanted just to have that peaceful, absolutely peaceful protest, and in the center, in the city center, unfortunately our authorities arranged a complete very, very brutal attack with rubber bullets, with stun grenades. So it was complete disaster, and nobody learned about that. Why? Because the internet was in complete lockdown since the moment the polling stations closed at 8 p.m. Just imagine, so nobody knew what is actually happening in the country. Only one private news agency, Belarusian, sent out SMS messages. Mobile phone was okay. Yeah, so they sent out SMS messages telling that people, it's really very dangerous in the city center because the authorities like run crazy with all those non-lethal weapons, which are used completely, arbitrarily against peaceful protesters with mass injuries and so on. So, and we didn't have internet for more than 3 days. And for 3 days in a row, there was this undeclared state of civil war, actually against the people who went out to streets without any, just anything, just they wanted to have a say. So that is very unfair that the election is lost by the ruler, but the people are not heard. Our votes are stolen. At my polling station, for example, I never saw the final protocol of voting. Just imagine. So I came home late at night because I was an independent observer at another place. So, and at that place, the riot police was called by the polling station, station committee, that local election committee. Why? Because they didn't want to present the votes, because they were not in favor of the ruler. So, and so the people who gathered there, so they didn't want to go, to let them go, to escape. So, and so it happened so that those people from the election committee, they simply called for riot police to come. So, and at my polling station, I never saw this protocol, and I came and asked, where is my vote? And I didn't have any answer. So, and for 3 days, people were shot down with rubber bullets, journalists, human rights defenders, observers from human rights defenders, and it was really horrible. Just when, like, it was done purposefully, that like independent journalists, photo reporters, they were targeted from close distance. And when like injured, so they had to spend with their injuries sometimes more than a month in hospital. And some of them are still in quite poor condition. And at that time, hundreds and hundreds of people were taken to custody. And so they were treated in a really very, very brutal way. So meaning that they were thrown to police vans and they were lying them like in layers, just imagine, yes, so one on another, and they were beaten cruelly with truncheons. So, and then again beaten at police stations. So there was, there have been practically never fair trials. So, because again, so that all judges are appointed by the ruler, like there is the vertical of those judges in this, like the vertical of power in the judicial system too. So therefore the evidence was taken from some strange people in masks, you know, they say because of COVID-19, so that they cannot just show their faces, but that's, you know, so ridiculous. So that firstly, that those court trials, they were taking place, like they were run on Skype, so that the person who is like charged is in prison, so that fake witness with the mask so is in some other place. So, and just the people are in the courtroom, and that looks like, you know, a very strange performance, actually, but not like a real thing happening. But the real thing is that the verdict is so that the people are sent to jail or get huge fines. Mostly they are sent to jail. And in jail, Anthony, my colleague, who was also on that program in Reno, Nevada, so two years ago, so he's our sociologist. He cooperates with us in Journalists for Tolerance Human Rights Initiative. And so he is really he's an intellectual. And just imagine, so that he went out on a bike. It was already in September, just to have a, like, to cycle with his friends. And he was taken down, beaten hard, and his bicycle was left just there. And so he was taken to jail. So, and again, with fake accusations, he was taken to custody and to jail. And he faced really very hard problems there, because like they weren't, like the people were not given water for some time. They were given rotten food that actually I think that like it had a bad negative effect on his health. And thus now he is in hospital and he has serious problems. He has to be operated on some organs. And so it means that unfortunately, our authorities regard all of us who do not agree with these like fake elections, who do not agree with this dictatorship and lack of like simple democracy. So they treat us as you know, as some herd of sheep, you know, so who just shouldn't have a say, even a say, not to stand up for, you know, something for democratic development, but just to have a say. Just, you know, it may sound absolutely ridiculous to you, but like in Belarus, we have a historical flag, white, red, and white flag, and now we have that post-communist red and green. So, and if that red, white, red, and white flag, it has become the symbol of resistance, the symbol of this democracy movement. And so now, so people started just showing those flags in the windows, at their balconies, and so on. And even the colors, you know, white and red colors, now it's Christmas time, like white and red snowflakes and so on in the windows. And just imagine, it's just, you know, like a theater of some absurdity. So that those people who have those flags in their balconies, they are taken to trial, to courts. Also elderly people like 80, seniors, 80 years old and on. Just imagine. So those grannies, poor grannies, so they are taken to custody now, yes, at around this Christmas time. And they're accused of individual picketing, and also it's like and according to like the law, so that all picketing has to be authorized by the state. Yeah. So, and just imagine, but it's private property. Sorry, guys, and also just I can do whatever I want. It's my property, and they absolutely they disregard all this, and they take people to jail. So every Sunday, like people come out, so knowing that any person can be caught, any person can be beaten hard, any person can be injured with rubber bullets and stun grenades, and also this gas. So nevertheless, people, especially in Minsk, in the capital, they come out just to have a walk and just to show it, so that we disagree with this situation. And as for journalists, as for independent media, they are practically in ruins now, because firstly, that independent journalists from abroad, independent reporters practically cannot come, because they have to get special accreditation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Belarus. And like all those people who wanted to come at around election time, they were deprived of this right. And all those who had this accreditation, they were asked to leave the country. They were deprived of this accreditation too, under the pretext that the ministry wanted to have some new accreditation. So, and it means that practically none of international reporters are here in Belarus now. As for our independent journalists, as I noted, so that they are regarded as enemies to like the regime, and so they are taken to jail. Now, 3 journalists are in jail on fake criminal charges, and so they're waiting for trial. The charges are absolutely absurd again. Yeah, so that's as if they were trying to arrange some mass protest events and so on. That's certainly not true. As for human rights defenders, as for civil society activists, the authorities do everything possible in order to humiliate, in order to intimidate human rights defenders too, through police searches for no good reason at all at private apartments. Sometimes it's kind of like they the police comes to have an observation tour of your apartment without any like good reason for that, and they take your computer equipment, and as if to check if you have something wrong on your computer equipment. And just imagine, for human rights defenders, for civil society actors, for journalists to have computer equipment, no, it's a must, you know. So like people are helpless, you know, because they don't have laptops with them. and moreover, nobody knows what those police people can actually, implant, so to say, on those laptops. Yes, so and then later accuse the owners, because nobody can check it, how they check it, and what they do with this computer equipment. So therefore, generally, the situation is aggravating, unfortunately. So every day we hear about new police searches at journalists' flats, at also interrogations, like just yesterday. The chairperson of Belarusian Association of Journalists, Andrei Klikunou, who was urged to come to the legal investigation committee as a witness to a criminal case, and like the preliminary charges like causing damage to the national security of the country through with the use of mass media and the internet. So very strange and vague accusations. So, and he, unfortunately, he cannot say in public what was there during this interrogation, because he signed this note that he will not share this information until before trial. So, but that's certainly intimidating for the whole media community. Like formally, Andrei also said that it's not connected with like Bash, not connected with his work for Belarusian Association of Journalists, but still everyone understands. So that, those fake accusations, they are here to intimidate all of us. Yes, so particularly Andrei, who now probably is in two minds, whether to flee the country or not to flee the country, facing the charges there. And at any moment of time, that status of a witness can be certainly changed to the status of a suspect. Yes, so, and it means that the person may spend from 3 to 8 years on that article, in jail, and just for nothing. Like we hear such cases every now and then. Unfortunately, the only leverage here is international solidarity, international attention, and just having a very global say, so that that kind of a concentration camp in the center of Europe. Belarus is located in the center of Europe. It's not a small country. It's like Sweden, with population of a bit less than 10 million. So, and like a lot of people, very good, like IT people, they come from Belarus. I know that a lot of people come to the United States, to California, to like Norway, to some other countries to work. And because like we have this very good school, yes, in Belarus, preparing IT people. So, and so now all of them, by the way, so they flee the country themselves, they relocate, because they feel that they cannot work here, they cannot create here, because in this situation of complete lack of freedom, and the situation when the person, like the police may beat you, you may even not going to participate in protest actions. You are just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like on Sunday, for example, you go to walk your dog, or you just cycle like Anthony did. So, and you go shopping, and you are taken by riot police that appears to be close to you just by chance, and like the person is taken to custody. And just he's saying, well, I was not going to take part in this protest, and nothing, his voice is not heard. Yes, and what I would like to say more is that unfortunately, unlike in the previous years, this year, like the situation has become tragic, unfortunately. So it means that more than 7 people, they were murdered. Like peaceful protesters with video evidence that they were really peaceful, so that they didn't have anything in their hands, nothing. So, and they were like shot down with rubber bullets and into some really serious like parts of their bodies. And some people unfortunately died. Several people died facing tortures in custody. So police beating cruelly people and in vital like organs. And several people unfortunately passed away. One person was also beaten cruelly in an artist in his backyard. and by the rights police. And so now we know that, that there is some evidence so that those people who participated in beating up that artist, young boy, like no boy, but a young person in his 20s, so they were close like allies to the ruler, you know, so to like the person, I won't call him the president anymore, you know, so that the person who stays in power. So, and this, just imagine, so neither this case with this artist, nor other tragic cases, nor thousands of like those pieces of evidence provided by the victims of tortures, neither of those facts have been taken into account by our authorities, by the public prosecution, for filing at least one criminal case. Nothing, zero criminal case for more than 7 cases of murder or beating, just people torturing to death, and thousands people just being injured and being tortured in custody. So the justice is absent. The first criminal case was filed in Lithuania. So, and as one of the victims of tortures, so he managed to flee to Lithuania, and he had a lot of pieces of evidence. So that also he knew the people who were beating him in jail, in custody. So, and the Lithuanian court has taken this case and opened legal like investigation. And so on international like obligations, because Belarus signed under these international obligations, if there are some like criminal cases against like humanity, some tortures, so then any court like in Europe at least, so can take such cases if justice is absent in the home country, like we have it now here, unfortunately. So, but again, so the other danger is that we don't have any clear understanding what is going to happen in short-term perspective. Because, as I say, so that there is no desire on the part of the people who stay in power to have some kind of serious dialogue. And just to listen to the people who say that you have stolen our vote, so let us recount, let us have fair election, and vote for and elect a real president of this country. So our authorities, they just prefer to keep it, you know, just covered, to divert the discussion to some other directions, and just to blah blah blah, as they say, you know, so that no, so that we forget about how it all started and why it all started, and so that we should forget all the victims, all the people who died, all the people who were injured, some of them till the end of their days, so they will be with disabilities. So therefore, in this situation, let's say that we highly rely on international attention, on international solidarity. Please address also to your authorities in the United States, saying that this attention is crucially important for the people of Belarus. Please address to your American businesses who make profit here, like McDonald's, for example. I don't know, Burger King, yes, so some other. Tell them, please, that no, it's maybe unfair to make profit on the blood and on tortures, so that it's a little bit unfair. So therefore, they should certainly also just at least have a say, so that it's not normal what is happening in the country where their branch is located. So that people may be taken from that McDonald's cafe and by riot police, and they may be taken to jail just for nothing. So that it's not normal for a democratic country. And if these companies are grounded, I do hope that they are grounded on democratic values. So as we know that America is famous for, so that I think that it would be really great if they also could have a say, and they could just express, their opinion on what is happening, and also maybe demand, from their local branch in Belarus, so that they really take like attention at the situation and do something here to help at least the victims, to help those people who suffer. So that is generally what I wanted to say. Maybe if you have some questions, I will be happy to answer them. And thank you again for your attention to our Belarusian course. I know that we are so far away, but now just our world has become this small globe, yes, especially with Corona and other things, so that we feel the shoulder, we feel the pain, each other's pain. And therefore, thank you very much for feeling our pain with our political situation here.
And thank you, Andrei. And that was a wonderful overview of this tragic situation of what's going on. Due to time, I want to try to help frame context for our audience a little bit more, and I have a couple of questions for you, and I'll just let you know what they are. The first one is if you can explain if you have something akin to the freedom of speech. Our First Amendment we have here in the United States, is that something built into the Belarusian Constitution that is being abused, obviously? But if you could explain that structure. And then also, if you can kind of give us a short forecast of what you think is going to happen in the next coming weeks. Is the protest going to get larger? Is going to be put down more? But if you could share that with our audience, I think that help us understand a little bit better.
Yes. So firstly, those like constitutional norms that like entitle every citizen of the country to that freedom of speech, freedom of expression, are there even in this new, like, well, it's like amended constitution that was tailored for the dictator and his rule. Even there is one article that says so that every person can disseminate, can collect, can store information. So regardless whether a journalist or not, or a blogger, whoever. So, and our authorities, unfortunately, they disregard this constitutional norm. And so there exists the law on mass media in Belarus. And according to this mass media law, a journalist is only the person who has some labor relations, who is employed by some media outlet, by some media. And if this person is not employed by anyone, if it's like he or she is like a freelance journalist, so in this case, this person is not regarded as a journalist, even having a diploma, a university diploma in journalism. So they do not, like the authorities do not regard them, these people, as journalists. And so that's really so like odd, yes, because in this case, especially now, yes, so that they catch those people who are not regarded by them as journalists. They again disregard these constitutional norms, which are for everyone to be enjoyed, for like to have freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And they take those journalists to jails on fake like accusations, again, as if for participating in illegal actions, though they are reporters. They were reporting from there, with all those high, professional journalist standards. And our authorities just say no, so that they are not journalists. And so within the Belarusian Association of Journalists, I've been struggling, I've been advocating for this legal change, so that every person can be a journalist, especially those who have diplomas, whether they are self-employed, freelancers, or whether they are employed. So it's just the other matter whether they employed or not. So they can be self-employed. For example, as a translator, interpreter, so I am self-employed, I'm a freelancer, so I can work also for the media. But those people who collect information, those people who report, take pictures, video footage, and so they are not regarded as as journalists. They cannot work as self-employed specialists, and that's certainly unfair. And that also, by the way, it contradicts to another constitutional norm, so that every person in the country has the right to work, in this country, to self implement himself, herself in his or her trade and profession. So, and unfortunately, we have been trying to lobby through the European Federation of Journalists. Twice, these people from Europe, from different states, they came to Belarus. I'm a member of freelance expert group there. So, and we try to arrange expert round table discussions with everyone. We invited everyone, the presidential administration, the parliament, whoever. Please come, please listen to us, that it is very unfair. So that it cannot be like this if we say in Article 1 that it's a democratic country of Belarus. So, and unfortunately, twice, 3 times actually, or yes, 2 or 3 times we had such, attempts to arrange such discussions in the format of expert roundtables, of international conferences. None of people, none of officials from the government, from the presidential administration, from the parliament appeared there. From also, they exist, maybe you know this word, Gongo organizations. So these NGOs, which are funded lavishly by the state to promote the governmental agenda. So, and in Belarus, we have 2 journalist associations, the Belarusian Association of Journalists, I'm a member, council member of, so independent NGO, and also a Gongo organization, Belarusian Union of Journalists, that dates back, has roots in the Soviet past. So, and unfortunately, even the people from that Gongo, they promised to come, but they didn't come. So, and there was no roundtable there. So it means that unfortunately, although these norms are there in the constitution, but our authorities simply, close their eyes on their existence, and they prosecute people for obeying, actually, for implementing those legal constitutional norms in their lives. And that's really very, very sad, very, very sad. So, and as for that second questions, as what is going to happen in the next weeks, the forecast. So I'm quite pessimistic, unfortunately, here. So, and we see that certainly in Belarus we have 4 seasons. Now it's winter time. Now it's snowing. It's around 0 degrees centigrade. So it's quite cold to come out to the streets and just to be outside. And therefore, less people are coming on Saturdays to those peaceful rallies. So now they do not gather in the city center. They rather gather in their micro districts, in their boroughs and as we say, sleeping areas. So, but still we see that there are lots and lots of those people who now, especially as soon as those tragic events happened, so now they say that no, that there is no way back, so that it cannot be that this person will be, just the ruler till the end of his days. So that's the last drop that killed the camel. It has already happened in this country now. So therefore, unfortunately, I think that so this understandings, it's well known by the government, and so they will try to prevent any kind of peaceful protest action, even such peaceful protest as I say, white and red snowflakes, paper snowflakes in your windows for Christmas. I think that unfortunately more people may find themselves following unfair trials in custody. And now we have heard that the European Union has started some sanctions against the pockets, some companies who support this ruler, but actually they are cunning people. So, and I think that like those pointed, sanctions, they won't be significant enough. But still, just as I say, so that in this situation, it is very important so that generally, the people around the world, human rights activists, human rights defenders, journalists, also all non-indifferent people, so that you do not forget about our situation in Belarus, and that you express your solidarity in any way possible. Maybe also even, I don't know, online or just in your city somewhere. So because the situation is aggravating, and since Russia openly supports the ruler, saying that there should be some kind of a dialogue and so on, but actually, just it's another blah blah blah. So there's a lot being said about some kind of dialogue, but no dialogue happening. So, and against like this background, and seeing that there is very long period of time that has already been taking place, that those protest actions have been taking place. So now it's very important for us not to not to get disheartened, and because a lot of people just burn out as journalists, for example. Just imagine, so that you are taken to custody every now and then just because like you are a journalist. So, and you, especially in case of single mothers, for example. So just imagine, so the authorities sometimes, the social services, so they may come to those single mothers, those journalists, and they may say, so okay, so you spent several times, those days in custody, so you are like a criminal, and and maybe we should take your child to an orphanage. Just imagine. So such things happened here during Stalin's times, maybe during Nazi times, when people were sent to concentration camps, were killed, murdered. But it's so ridiculous when such things are happening, taking place now. So therefore, as I say, so that in the coming weeks, I think that those the level of oppression, it will be just the same as before, unfortunately. But like the only way possible here, as I say, is that through that solidarity, and also through that international justice, and so as in Lithuania, for example. So, and also through addressing, as I say, like the decision makers in your countries, like around the world, in the United States in particular, so that they do, and businesses, so that they do not forget, so that if like those values of democracy are really, universal, so that the United States, as I say, we regard the United States as like that. The country that we take example, we democratic actors take example from you, first of all. And so for us, it is really very important that we hear your voice, and that we hear and we feel your solidarity with us here in Belarus.
Wow, Andrei, that's a lot to swallow and understand, and I feel for what you guys are going through. Just for the sake of time, I'd like to open it up to our audience for any questions that they may have. We were slated to go over 60 minutes, but Andrei, if it's okay with you, if we do have any questions, I'm happy to go a little bit longer, because I think myself alone, I have many things I could ask you, but I'd like to open up to our audience. So if anyone has any questions. And if people are typing it in as we speak, maybe Andrei, just one more from me is, what else can we do? You mentioned a little bit about international solidarity. Is there a social media campaign? Is there something easy that people can do that we can take your message and share it with our media and our international journalists here that we have at the Reno School here at the university, and also many other outlets that we could focus on? So if there's tools out there, let us know so we can help support that message.
I will share with you a link to a website, August 2020, where like the stories of victims of tortures are collected, and they are presented there in English. So, and I think that it's a good source of general information about the whole seriousness of situation here inside the country in Belarus, and why we really call and highly rely on that international solidarity with the people here in our country. We'll be highly grateful to you for sharing this information, in particular the information from this website, so that as many people, also decision makers in the United States, understand that it is something really unprecedented for our country. That is something really like unrealistic, maybe, you know, just for anyone to just to imagine in the center of Europe. So just we are neighbors to the European Union, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia. So, and we are just so close to democratic Europe. So, and in our case, unfortunately, it's just the other world, you know, it's just the other universe. So therefore, firstly, we'll be highly grateful to you for sharing this information. That's very, very important. And maybe also that in January, Anthony would like also to have a say, if it might be possible, maybe to arrange maybe some event, maybe also at the university, so that also like more people like just see it how it is really, you know, from the first hands, so to say. Yes, so that the person who spent 13 days in jail just for cycling, yes, so, and also I think that it's important for the American society to understand how important those values, democratic values, are. So that sometimes when you think that it's natural, so then you think that it will be forever. But it is very important to see those, you know, poor examples, because in Belarus, actually, we had some kind of democracy at the beginning of 90s. We did. And actually, Lukashenko won the election, the first presidential election in 1994, with the use of an absolutely democratic procedure. And his opponent, Vyacheslav, so the former prime minister, so he hoped that he would win the elections and so on. So he was a post-communist, but a little bit, you know, less populist. But nothing. No, just something went wrong, and just he didn't win that election, and Lukashenko won the election because he was a populist. Just he was a good, you know, speaker, and he is a good speaker. Yes, so, and just people listened to him and voted to him during democratic election, and now very few people, you know, among those who voted for him in 1994 really support him now, especially after those tragic events. So, and I think that it's very important through those stories also to somehow to think it over also in America, in the United States, so that those values, democratic values, that they should be reminded to every person, to every child from from kindergartens, from schools, from universities. So that it is nothing of some natural kind, so that these like democratic values, so that we should stand up for them all the time and remind people about their importance. So therefore, first I suggest that please share this word, and also I will check this website with video evidence. Yes, so because those that video shortage, I cannot actually watch it because this website is blocked in Belarus. A range of websites cannot be visited from inside the country. Just imagine. So, but I will share the correct link to that video like evidence from August 9th, 11th. So also please share this. And if you also think in some creative way of how to support Belarusian democratic activists, human rights activists, independent journalists, so we'll be highly grateful to you for your creativity. Whether, as I say, that it could be some like online event, or maybe some campaign in support just within your state, or just nationally with some hashtag, like in my personal case, I have that personal campaign, that hashtag stop tortures and hashtag people first, that actually I have taken from Reno, Nevada. Yes, so that in the Reno, one organization that deals with people with disabilities joined that nationwide campaign, saying that first, we are all people. So regardless whether we have some kind of disability, some religious background, whatsoever, you know, so we are all people. And with those hashtags, stop tortures and people first, that I've been posting those stories, reposting those stories in my personal Facebook, on my personal Facebook page. And I think that if you could also start something of the kind, or join it, or share it, we'll be highly grateful to you. Maybe you could think of supporting some John, certainly now it's a time of COVID-19, and with the links, the borders closed and so on, but maybe like those, firstly I will talk about independent journalists, yes, so that these people, especially working in the field, trying to work even in those unbearable conditions, so they burn out. Sometimes they say they are badly injured. So maybe you could start some crowdfunding if possible, just a suggestion. Yeah. So to support those journalists, just for them maybe to leave Belarus for some time, just to you know, to have some small rehab or retreat, so that just they can just forget, you know, about that chaos, and so that they can come back to Belarus and report again about those nightmares that we face in our country. So we'll be certainly very grateful to you for this kind of ideas.
Yeah. Well, we'll share that website and those videos with our audience today, and we're also going to replay this video later on, just because we knew we didn't have much time to market it, to get a larger audience. And maybe in January we can do a follow-up and then really maybe build a campaign between Reno and Belarus. Something good to think about. We have two questions, and in respect of everyone's time, Steve Casper, if you remember him, he's one of the home hosts.
Yes.
That hosted your group. He's asking, how have you avoided being arrested? It seems though that the regime would not appreciate what it is that you are doing. And I don't know, did you get arrested? I forget.
No.
But Anton did.
Yes.
Yes.
So yes, Steve, hi. Yes. That's an interesting question. So that actually that's very complicated not to be arrested these days, but well, it like the potential is very high. Personally, I have very rich experience of this democratic activism. So meaning that I participated in rallies, protest rallies since maybe 1996, 97. Yes, so meaning that I know the tactics which are used by like the riot police, special services. So, and therefore I just try to be smart. Yes, so, and yes, so, and for me by now, like it helped, but as I say, that nobody can guarantee, whether they don't come to your place, whether they don't come to your apartment even, without any reason at all, because just because you are on the list of those people, for example, who work for Belarusian Association of Journalists. Yes, so therefore, in my personal case, it's this just that's my experience. Yes, probably that helped me, and but as I say, so that a lot of people from my very close circle, the journalists, human rights defenders, so that they faced those beatings and tortures, unfortunately.
Well, I think we all believe you're very brave for speaking out today, and for speaking out, and sounds like 20 years now or more for you in being democratic. That's awesome. Our executive director, Dr. Karina Black, has a question for you as well. And so we're just going to turn on her video here.
Yes, yes, please.
Karina?
Hi, Andrei. It's so good to see you.
Hi, Karina.
And thank you so much for telling us about the situation. We are with you, and we will do what we can to help. My question is about Svetlana Tsikhanouskaya and the other two women that were highlighted at a few months ago in the struggle, and I hadn't heard much about where they are, and or do you have any hope that the awesome women of Belarus can help turn your country around? Because we have hosted so many amazing groups like yours. And I feel a lot of solidarity with especially with the women who have been so strong. So can you just address that briefly? And I know we're running out of time, but I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Karina. Thank you again for this opportunity for me to have a say, to like show like the whole complexity of our present day situation in Belarus. And as for those three very brave women, so two of them are abroad now, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya and the other one, Marina Tsipkala. So, and it was just yesterday that they received a very prestigious Andrei Sakharov prize from the European Parliament for freedom of thought. Yes, so, and Svetlana, as you know, that she participated in the election. Why? Because her husband was taken to jail, Sergei Tikhanovsky, a blogger, a couple of months before the election day, and she decided to support her husband, and so she became that alternative presidential candidate who actually most probably won the election, or at least like was #1 for the second tour of election. So, and now they are in like, they don't say that they're in exile, but they're abroad, and Svetlana had to like to flee. Well, it was not like fleeing, it was just she was nearly deported from Belarus. So the second one, Ms. Tsipkala, she managed to flee Belarus, but as for Svetlana, she was taken by the special services in the Central Election Committee was it 2 days after the election day in August, and like a video recording was shot where she said something neutral and asked just for maybe for just seizing some large protests. But then she was found in Lithuania, and just imagine, so that she was practically deported by our authorities to Lithuania. So, and from Lithuania she started just saying her real words, so to say, in her real words. And it's obviously, that video interview in the Central Election Committee, it was like she was forced to record that interview by the special services. And so now she is a real like democratic leader of Belarus, and personally I'm really very happy that she is that icon of our democratic society and of our movement for democracy here in the country. She is a very brave person and a very smart and very thoughtful person, and she has developed her strong points, so to say, of her character during those months. And now to be honest, I didn't vote for her. Yes, so I just voted for like for nobody, so just didn't vote for anyone, because just I wanted to give my vote, but just I didn't have enough trust to either of those candidates who were allowed to take part in the election, because like my candidate, he wasn't allowed by the authorities. Yes, so but now I would vote for Svetlana for sure. So, and as for the third person, Maria Kolesnikova, so she used to be the head of election headquarters for another alternative candidate, Viktor Babaryka, who was sent to jail before the election and who was not allowed to participate in the election campaign. So as for Maria Kolesnikova, there was a very interesting situation with her, because she was arrested, and then there was an attempt to deport her again, by force, to throw her out the country to Ukraine, and she did not leave. So just she is probably one of the bravest people in Belarus. So, but she tore her Belarusian passport. She told them that no, that I would like to stay in Belarus, that I'm not going to Ukraine. To other guys who were together with her, said they left to Ukraine, but Maria didn't leave. She was returned to Minsk, and so now she is in jail and waiting for trial, unfortunately. Yes, so although her basic human rights were violated, like she couldn't be sent out of the country, being the citizen, a citizen of Belarus. She couldn't be kidnapped. She was kidnapped, actually, yes, from Minsk city center. It's a criminal case, yes, criminal offense. But our authorities, they just don't, they think that they can do whatever they wish. As there was a quote by Lukashenko that we just should turn over this page, so that the laws, that's the time that we may just close our eyes to some laws, disregard some laws. So, and unfortunately, just we see this policy implemented every day, and we feel really very sad. We feel very insecure inside the country, but there is this inner, feeling in me personally, in many other people, so that we do not want to flee the country. We want to do something positive here for Belarus, but just certainly we need to go for some time, maybe just for small rehab, for a week or two, somewhere to some other countries, just to breathe freely, for some time. But then our great intention my personal intention is also just like Maria's to come back to the country and to do something here that we can, at least as I do, supporting journalists, explaining the situation to independent media, human rights defenders, like this event, so that I share this word. So I'm needed here inside the country, because I see it all with my own eyes. I communicate to the people who are victims. I get this information from first hand, and it's a little bit complicated to do if you are outside the country. Now it's certainly possible with the internet, but it's not the same thing when you communicate and talk with people in person. Yes, so.
Well, and that's why we're so grateful for you getting to hear your, your first hand experience on this whole situation. It's something very unique in this world right now. We want to thank you, Andrei, for your time, and I just want to ask you one short question, just to also kind of paint the picture. If there is any hope for Belarus, can you describe the standard of living you have now and how that might improve? Or before the protests, did you have a high quality of living in Belarus, and how much has that been disrupted right now?
There is certainly hope for Belarus, because, as I say, so in Belarus there are so many good people, so many talented people, and I really, as I say, with IT people, for example, so we have perfect like school of IT people here inside the country, and for example, such things as Viber, maybe you have heard this social media, wargaming, some other stuff, so that they were created here inside the country by our specialists. So I would like to say so that we have a lot of smart people who are eager to make this country prosperous, to make this country really happy, and people happy and just enjoying high quality of life, and just being on the crossroad of Europe. You cannot be, just isolated. You cannot feel that you are on some island in the ocean. So, and you cannot be poor, yes, because all channels, they go through your country, all channels, like oil, we have 2 oil refineries, yes, gas, whatsoever. So, I think that if there are democratic changes coming to the country, so that there will be very good conditions created for international companies to work here, and also to contribute to that well-being of the people of Belarus. And our people will be certainly happy, to contribute to those international businesses again. So therefore, in this respect, I'm very optimistic, so that as soon as those democratic changes happen, so that there will be this spring effect. I do hope that it will take place here. So, and that so many ideas which are now, inside our heads, inside our brains, they will come into life. Yes, so my children, they really, they think about some small businesses, arranging, the older son, 16, he would like to be an IT specialist. The younger son would like to be like a hospitalier, so meaning that would work in hospitality business, some restaurant or so. So it's impossible to run such business in Belarus without some links, to some authorities now. As soon as democratic changes happen, I'm sure that all those ideas, they will be possible for implementation. Nobody will restrict people from implementing their good wishes and their good ideas into life. So so therefore, in this respect, I do hope that everything will be fine with us, and that Belarus will be prosperous and like enjoying high standards one day. Now, unfortunately, it's quite complicated. So, and the salaries are quite small. So now the average salary in Minsk is around maybe $400-500 US a month. Certainly in different trades there are different salaries, but just on average. And so it's enough, certainly, to have some food, to pay for your apartment, and so on, for fuel. But it is not enough for some other things, important things, like for education for children, for example, for medical care. Like we have like kind of Medicare here in Belarus, like it's free service, but there are very long queues, and it's like easier to go to some paid to pay money. And for some things you can pay. For some other more serious stuff, you cannot pay such money. You have to collect that money in years. And unfortunately we don't have that normally existing medical insurance system here in Belarus. So, and that's a great problem, unfortunately. Yes, so therefore we feel in this respect a bit how to say it, insecure, yes, also financially unstable, even working hard, and just really sometimes being overloaded. I'm a freelancer, so just sometimes it's hard to restrict yourself, from taking another order. Yes, so knowing that it will bring money to your family, to your kids, to your children, and make them happy, and yes, so make me happy too, because everyone is happy around me. Yes, so therefore now I see that this situation is aggravating, and just today we've learned that the deficit of state budget will be quite big next year in Belarus. So it means that those people who work, for example, for public schools, for hospitals, so that they will have cuts in salaries, unfortunately. And especially during COVID times, it's a complete drama, because those people in hospitals especially, so they are overloaded. I don't know, no, in America, you have this problem with COVID-19, but you have, clear statistics and clear understanding on the dangers and so on. In Belarus, unfortunately, we don't have fair statistics, like we don't have fair elections, we don't have fair medical statistics, and we get information about the real situation with COVID-19 only from some indirect sources, like our government reports to the UN with statistics on the death rate, and thus only through this source we learned that during the first half year 2020, more than 4,500 people died in comparison with the same period in the previous years. Just imagine. And our authorities, they have not explained this, so just what? Because the official statistics in the spring was that, around maybe just 100 people get infected one day, just 2-3 people pass away. So nobody believed that, but we didn't have any like proven like information from really trustworthy sources. And so that's another drama. So that this system, the governmental system, is absolutely closed from the people. So they live in their own paradigm, and so the people just sometimes like we have to think of how to survive. Yes, just how to be safe, and trying to be more responsible in our decisions, not to listen to what the government says, but just rather to think just ourselves, and analyze the real situation, listening to our friends, our colleagues, our families, what is happening in their communities, in their like teams at work, and so on. Yes, so that's our situation. So financial unstable, and in short-term perspective, especially against this background also of COVID-19, so that the financial situation unfortunately will be aggravating. It looks like this.
Wow. Well, Andrei, we have learned a lot from you today, just on the status of Belarus and history of Belarus, about the freedoms that are part of your laws, and how those are being subverted. I personally, I'm grateful to hear firsthand from you, and I'm sorry for what you and your country are going through right now. What I can offer from the Northern Nevada International Center is that because we already have an existing bridge and relationship with you, and like you said, you've taken some of the social media hashtags from the Disability Center here in Reno, and we would like to share that with them, let them know how they have made an impact on you and on Belarus, and hopefully, like we've seen in so many other situations, that we can actually support your cause and give light to it. Because even doing research for this, I've been having a hard time finding out what's going on in the media from a Belarusian perspective. So we're just absolutely grateful. And if you could share with us those websites, and I will make sure that they get to our audience. And if there's any questions from our audience that they didn't get a chance to ask today, if I can forward that to you as well, and we can keep this dialogue going, I think that would be amazing.
Yes, thank you very much, Mike, for this opportunity to take the floor to show you the whole complexity of our situation here in Belarus, and I will be very happy to be constantly in dialogue, that kind of dialogue with you, and will provide you with more information coming, like first-hand information. And so I will be highly grateful for you for sharing those hashtags and this knowledge, so to say, yes, from Belarus, this information from Belarus in your communities, with your decision makers in the United States, and as I say, also maybe also the businesses that have branches in Belarus. Will be highly grateful to you for that. For us, for human rights defenders, for journalists, it will be greatest possible sign, symbol of support, your attention, and your this feeling of solidarity, that you do not forget about us in Belarus.
Yeah. And on that note, I want to say on behalf of my staff here at the Northern Nevada International Center, Stacy, Darren, Karina, everyone, and also from our home hosts, we share our love and give you our strength and support. And if you could share that with the rest of the group that came to Reno, let them know we're thinking about them, and this is a great chance to reconnect. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. I recollect every moment of my visit to Reno, and yes, Stacy and Steve, Nancy, so just everyone, I can't help crying, just recollecting that really greatest time, in my life, and lots of experience. I think that, just I've been like a civil society activist for many, many years, for 2 decades, less than 2 decades. And in my personal experience, it was the best program, such perfectly organized program that also had a very concrete, very precise, good outcome, because we're connected with other alumni here from that program, and I see so that knowledge is implemented here in Belarus, and that's really great to recollect how well it was all organized from A to Z. So thank you so much again. I will take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to you, to the whole team at the Northern Nevada Information Center for your work with heart for the participants of the program. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Andrei, and it's good to hear that. That was a good couple weeks for you here. We miss you. So
thank you, Andros.
Yes,
it's so good to see you, and thank you for the contributions you made to our community as well. Very appreciated, and for talking with us today and letting us know what's going on.
Hopefully that yes, miss you too. Yes, and hopefully that rather sooner than later that we will gather all together in free democratic Belarus. And I will host all of you, and we will have that discussion and offline together. And I will show you our very nice and picturesque country. And yes,
we look forward to it.
Okay. Yes. Well, Andrei, if you could stay on the line, we're going to stop the broadcast, but it'd be nice just to follow up, after this and see how we can do some next steps. Yes, so I want to thank you again, Andrei, for your participation, and for Karina and all our home hosts and our audience that joined us today. This is an opportunity for us to show how Reno has built bridges through the world, and we hope to do that more. So I wish everyone a good rainy Thursday here in Reno, and Andrei, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much again, and see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.